Well, I will start live streaming and still give everybody a couple of minutes to get in. Alexander, have you finished Cengage on chapter 6?
Yes, sir.
You have?
Yes, sir.
Got 100 on it?
It's like 99.8. I can't
Good.
figure out a couple parts.
How about the rest of you? Have you, Kelly, you and Margot finished Cengage?
I haven't finished, but she has.
You're getting there, Margot?
Yes.
How about you, Dylan?
I'm like 80% almost there.
80. How about you, Alexander?
I can't remember how far I made it.
But you're making it. Okay. How about you?
I'm there. It's getting there. I think it's about 60% done, maybe.
About 60. Okay, just remember, chapter 6, a whole lot of journal entries. Come in, Johnny. Come in, Ryan. So your other buddy's behind you. Hey, Ryan, where do you live?
Daniels.
Where?
Daniels. Between Shady and Beckman.
Oh, that's okay. How cold was it up there this morning?
Pretty good. But it warms you up when you,
What?
warms you up when you finish something.
What is it?
It's a pop.
The heat? It heats up?
Well, it's a pop. It doesn't have real no purpose. Just what Ken Fred made us make
What's that?
over the board. I finally got this piece finished today.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah. One uses conventional method and one side uses climb method. And what you'll realize on the climb method side, there's a better surface finish and surface texture than the conventional side.
What's that made out of?
Aluminum. So now I I actually got it scanned up today. And now just have to make a 3D printed model of it using our PLA.
Okay, we got the normal half here this morning. A lot of you here this morning have never missed a day. How many of you have never missed a day this semester? 8 out of 10 of you never missed a day. That's great. I guess I have equivalent to about somewhere 7 or 8 years of college. I had to miss one night class, all I ever missed. And I was doing so much then, I was in the hospital with bleeding arms, and I had to miss one night class. But other than that, I never missed a class. So I was lucky. There's good reasons to miss, but most people who miss don't have good reasons. Okay. In my night class in accounting, I have a young lady in there. She was a manager for one of the McDonald's stores. And her husband, I think, is operations manager. And she works for Gene Forbes. He has 11 McDonald's. Now, he made it just with high school education. He started in the kitchens for McDonald's. And now he owns 11. But I don't know who got him started or what have you, but he's a success story that lives out my way. But the young lady from Serbia, she said McDonald's in her country was pretty much a go in and sit down restaurant. And she said the burgers were totally different, the menu was twice as big. And when she come to this country, she was disappointed. McDonald's. In Serbia, all the food they eat is natural food, Okay, what is, organic? To buy organic here, it's expensive. She says, all organic in their country. They go out to fresh markets and get all their fresh everything, and everything's gone organic. And she said the difference is, she's been in this country 2 months and gained 15 pounds. She said she could eat anything she wanted to in her country, not gain weight.
All of our processed,
But,
processed, got more corn syrup in it than.
oh, yeah, they don't eat processed foods in Serbia. They're probably a lot healthier. But anyway, McDonald's,
Relatively speaking, they were in the Eastern Bloc.
what?
Relatively speaking, they were in the Eastern Bloc.
Oh, I know, under Soviet Union.
So yeah, they had to eat organic, 'cause they had to grow their own stuff.
Yeah, she said a lot of people grow their own stuff, but even though she lives in a city, you know, they get organic foods. Everybody has a garden, I guess. So, but, it's so different. And one of the young men in one of the countries said they ate a lot of Mediterranean food, which is just, I guess, salads and fruits and so on.
Fish.
So our country is unhealthy. Anyway, McDonald's, I'll tell you a story about McDonald's. When my kids were small, we went to McDonald's. And we ordered the normal stuff, you know, the kids' meals, and the wife and I ordered food. Well, we set it on a table, and we all went to the restroom, wash our hands. We come back, there was a 400-pound woman sitting at our table. And she was just eating all the food. She had the fries open, the burgers, and she was just eating whatever she wanted. And my wife asked her, "What are you doing? That's our food." And that woman looked at the wrappings and the bags and the paper. So this is McDonald's. She said, "Are you Mrs. McDonald?" And my wife said, "No." Then that lady said, "It ain't yours."
Throw punch.
Huh?
She throw punch.
No, my wife went over to the manager. He said, "We let her away with it. She comes here and does that about once a month. She's poor, and we just try to overlook her. We replace her food." So we got our food replaced. We sat down and ate. Well, that lady got up and left her mess. Food, half of it was eaten, half of it not. But she left a J.C. Penney's bag under her table.
Oh, yes, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Take it, burn
Take
it.
it.
All right, my wife went over and got the J.C. Penney's bag. All right, the woman come back in looking for her bag, and she saw it was under our table. And anyway, she said to my wife, "Ma'am, that is my bag." And my wife said, "Are you Mrs. Penny?" And she said, "No." And my wife said, "Then it ain't yours." Where's it going?
It went where I thought it was gonna go. I like it.
All right, but my wife took the J.C. Penney's bag home.
I'm sure you couldn't fit what was in it.
The what?
I said, I'm sure she couldn't fit what was in it.
And the kids got a nice tent in it.
Okay, Margot asked what was in it. Margot, I'll tell you the truth.
It made a mess.
A bunch of bologna, like I just fed you.
Yeah,
Oh,
Now, that's where it was going.
yeah, I thought that was.
You have to make up some of these as you go along, you know?
this.
But, I'm gonna tell you a real story. This one is true. I promise you, it's true. It's my cousin. My cousin was hairless, and he was a little bit slow. He talked a little funny, okay? And my cousin liked to go to church every Sunday. And, his name was Perry. And we had a front porch when I was growing up, and when Perry would walk up to holler, he'd come over and sit on the porch with us after church. All right, and I asked Perry one Sunday how did it go, and he said it went real good, but he said I got slapped. I said, "Perry, why'd you get slapped?" Then I got slapped twice. Why'd you get slapped twice, Barry? He said, well, you know, when we stood up to sing one of those hymnals, there was a woman in front of me and her dress was tucked between her legs. And being the gentleman I am, I pulled it out. He got slapped. Well, Perry, why'd you get slapped twice? Well, we got to stand up to do another hymn. And being the gentleman I am, I didn't take she wanted it out, so I put it right back. Okay, that's only half true. I had to add a little bit to it. Okay. What was your homework on chapter 6? Did I give you any problems to finish on chapter 6?
I think we just had that one, like 38 or something.
All right. Now, I'm going to bypass chapter 6 today, but I want you to hand in 4A and 5A on chapter 6. I want you to hand those in on Tuesday. Are we clear? If you're out there live streaming.
4A and 5A.
4A and 5A. Now,
4A or 5A?
what?
You said 4A was our bonus.
Well, yeah, I want you to hand them in on Tuesday if you're going to do it for a bonus.
Okay.
But everybody needs to hand in 5A, and I hope everybody hands in 4A. So please get those done, and we'll review that chapter for the last time on Tuesday. But today we're going to dig into chapter 7. All right. Take 3 of these and pass them around. When these come to you, take 3 of them. One of my young men in my night class, he's from France, Paris, and he just got back from a tennis tournament for our tennis team. He was the top 4 in the country. Not bad, is it? Not bad. My granddaughter today down in Nashville, she's 11th grade and she's on the volleyball team. And she's playing for state volleyball champion today, state of Tennessee. There should be a few of those left, but everybody take 3. Okay, now I want to show you something on notebook, and then I'm going to show you something on solutions, and then we're going to practice some things, okay? Now, we really need to get in to inventory. In this chapter, we got to learn methods of taking inventory. There is FIFO, LIFO, and average, and specific identification. Now, those are 3 methods, perpetual, and 3 methods, periodic. That's 6. 6 methods right there. 2 FIFO, 2 LIFO, 2 average. We have Pacific, that's 7. We have lower of cost at market, that's 8. Then we'll have the retail method and the gross profit method. We'll have about 10 methods of taking inventory. Now, FIFO is, of course, more popular. Now, without these sheets that I gave you, that helps you organize it, a purchase, a sale, and your inventory. But if you don't have these sheets, you can still do this. Now, we're going to look at 7.3a on page 379. Even if we looked at it before, we're going to still look at it. Now, how much inventory do I have to start with? You don't need these sheets, but I'm going to show you. How much inventory do I have to start with? 120 at what?
26.
At what?
$26.
All right. Now, that's what you would record on this sheet, but don't fill that sheet in yet. All right. Now, did we buy or did we sell? Our next item, did we buy or sell?
Sold 90 units.
All right, we sold 90. And that leaves how many?
30.
30 at 26. And now we bought some, right? How many did we buy?
140 at 28.
100 what?
140 at 28.
Now we got 140 at 28. Now, at this day and time, this is what our inventory is, and we can multiply it out and know a dollar amount. All right, now here's what's important though. We have a sale coming up. How many did we sell?
110.
100 what?
110.
Okay, now FIFO means the first ones we bought or the first one we sold. So which ones do we sell now?
30 at 26.
All right, we sell 30 at 26.
80 at 28.
We sell 80 at 28, and that leaves 60 at 28, don't it? All right, now we could put that on, and let me show you how that looks on one of these. Let me show you this real solution to that. Take a second here. I guess you can't find anything on a disk unless that disk is in there. Helps. All right, now this is the way that should look. And let me shrink it a little bit so you can see it all. All right. Now, this is like one of these sheets that you have, okay? It don't matter what name's on here. It says portable CD players. Doesn't matter what it says. You can work any problem on them. Well, here we had 120, and here's our cost. And we sold 90, that left 30. Then we bought 140. So here's what we have on April 15th. Add these two together, you'll have your inventory. And then we sold 110. So we had to sell, like Ryan said, these 30 plus 80. And that left us 60 at 28. And then we sold 40 more, and that left us 20 at 28. Then we bought 160 more. All right, that is perpetual. Now, I want you to do the next exercise, number 4, and start it right here.
Hey, Sid. Get that, get that.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was good. Oh, yeah. So go ahead.
I can break. Okay, where are we? We're on page 379 of your textbook. We're on exercise 7.3 in your textbook. You see the solution on the screen for exercise 7.3, and I want you to do exercise 7.4. It's the same problem, same numbers, except you're going to do it LIFO. You're going to sell the last ones instead of the first ones. So take a minute and organize that, and put it on that sheet. There's enough here to give everybody over. They need these for practice.
Oh, she needs one too.
I'll give everybody 4 of these things. Practice on. All right, the first thing you should do is put down your inventory. Now, on April the 1st and on April the 10th, it's going to be identical to what you see on the screen. So jot down April the 1st and the 10th. They are identical. If you're at home and you need to practice this, which you should practice, you'll have to draw this form. All right, you can draw it. It's easy to draw and learn perpetual, LIFO, FIFO, and then average. Really, probably when you get down to the 15th, that line may be the same too. 15th, that's the same also. Whether it's LIFO or FIFO, April the 1st, the 10th, and the 15th are identical. It only changes here when you sell something. Use 2 lines when necessary, or 1 date. That finish right?
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you did on the 20th. The 20th. You don't put your dates in, did you?
Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
Don't sell your total cost could reach 110, do you? Yeah, okay. You do it on the 20th, deal. What are you going to sell on the 20th? Okay. Can you see this, Kel? All right. Under FIFO, what I've got, I've got 170 units. I'm gonna sell 110. Under FIFO, I sell the old first. So I sell these 30 first at $26. Then I sell 80 out of my 40 at 28. Now that is LIFO. Under LIFO, I've got the same thing, 1, 10, and 15. And under LIFO, I sell the last units first. So which ones am I going to sell?
You ended up having a steel table.
Right here, which ones will I sell?
Yes, but I use it on that.
So I would put 110 down here times 28.
Mine yesterday said.
That would leave me 30 at 26 and 30 at 28. All right, now make sure you add up the cost of your goods sold. They should have added this. This should be added. And your inventory should be added. That's how you get your ending inventory and cost of goods sold. That's what it's about. That's why we're doing it. Finished up with Xander? With match, what's up? Yep. And then with match, what's up? Yep. And the total cost, so.
I did you guys.
Yeah, just over 4, 30, 10. Okay. Oh. Okay, it's on the screen. The correct solution is on the screen. And some of you have it complete 100%, some of you almost. Tammy, yours matching? Sir? Okay, it's just a procedure. In exercise 7.3, we sold the old units first. Here it's simple. We sell the newest units first. When we get down to the 24th, to the 20th, we sell 110. We sell the newest units first. That leaves 30 out of that 140. All right, then we sold 40. We had to sell this newest first. Then we had to take 10 out of here. So this inventory down here is old inventory. Okay, these 20 is old inventory. Okay? light up like it should. Then you bought 160 more, of course. And this is a period of inflation. Prices are going up from 26 to 28 to 30. Now, I want to show you number 5. Nope, that's using FIFO. I want to show you number 8. All right, turn over to number 8 in your, this is important because you're going to have one like it for homework. Number 8, can't see it. I wonder if that's number 8, 900,000. Yeah. Okay, this is number 8. 7's up there, this looks like number 8. Now, how do we do average? You're gonna have one of these for homework. Okay, added on whatever Cengage has. Cengage will give you these also. All right. Now look at this closely. We had 30,000 units times $30. That's 900,000. We sold 24 times 30. That's 720. That left 6 times 30. That's 180. Now that's all well and good. That's easy. But once you purchase, every time you purchase an item, how many did we purchase here? At what?
$34.
That's $1,674,000. Now, how many do we have left?
We do 6,000.
And we bought 54, makes how many?
Yeah.
All right. What was the cost of the 6,000? And what's the cost of the 54?
1.6.
You have to add them together. Then you divide 60,000 into your cost and get $30.90. That's an average. They'll do that after every purchase. Sales okay. Here we had another purchase, 21,000. We had 15 left, makes 36. 463.5 added to this amount, and then divide and get 3160. Okay, that's average. Okay, so I want you to practice these 3 methods, and all of you have 3 sheets left, and trying to find which exercise might work. They don't have one, whereas you practice them all. I guess do number 9, 10, and 11 exercise. 9, 10, and 11. Try to practice those for Tuesday. All right, you've got 2 problems. One of them you should have already had done from chapter 6. Now, these are short. Okay, now I'm going to illustrate to you these next methods. Okay, we're going to practice these. These are easy. You don't need sheets. All right, we're going to do FIFO, LIFO, and average under periodic. That makes 6 methods. All right. Let's say we got 10 units at $1. Now, purchase 1, that's beginning inventory. All right, purchase 1, doesn't matter about the date. We bought 20 units at $2. Purchase 2, we bought 20 units at $3. And then purchase 3, we bought 30 units at $4. Excuse me, that makes it short enough and simple enough, hopefully. All right, now altogether we have 80 units that we bought. All right, let's say we have 15 left. We have 15 left in ending inventory. My question is, under FIFO, what 15 do we have left? How much?
15 or $4.
That is correct. All right. Under FIFO, you know you sold the 10, the 20, and 20 more, and 15 of those. Now, under LIFO, which ones do we have left? So you don't have to look at sales. You have which ones left under LIFO.
5 at $2, 10 at $1.
All right, 10 at $1 and 5 at $2. All right, that'd be 10 plus 10. That's 20. A lot of difference in that, isn't there? And when you're doing cost of goods sold, it makes a lot of difference and your net profit. All right, now average, under average, we've got to work out the cost of all the units. You know what an average is? If you've had 3 tests, how do you get your average? Add them up, divide by 3. Here we do the same thing. We add the cost, $10, $40, $60. What?
The average cost of the units is $2.
Oh, okay. You're ahead of me, Ryan. You're ahead of me. That's 100, 220, 230. All right, we paid $230 for 80 units. So you do divide, it's like averaging up 3 grades. So what do you get when you divide 230 by 80? $2 and what? 87 and a half? 875? All right. Now that has to be between the high and the low. It is, isn't it? Okay. We just did that with 3 methods. We just did it with 3 methods. All right. Now let's see if you can do it with 3 methods. I'll probably keep the same things up here. See if you can do that one with FIFO, LIFO, and average.
Sorry, but
Okay, folks, if there's 20 left under FIFO, what 20 are left? We sold the old one, so what 20 are left? 20 times 13. And that leaves how much if I want inventory? What is 20 times 13? To what? Okay, everybody should have got that. 260. Okay, now under LIFO, we've got these 10 left at 10, don't we? And we've got 10 of these at 11. I guess that's 100. And this is what, 110? Your answer should be 210, correct? How many of you got 210 under FIFO? Good, everybody's getting there. LIFO, yeah. Okay, now under average, we got to work these things out. First off, how many units did I have? Still what, 80? We're going to find the total cost. I guess that's 100. Now what is this, 220? And what is this, 20 times 12 is that 240? And 30 times 13. How much? 390. Now when we add those together, what do we get? 950 divided by 80. All right, that's between the low and the high, isn't it? Okay. So that's what we're dealing with. And I'd like for you to practice page 381, number 12, over the weekend. That's the three methods periodic. Same thing we did just now, and it takes just that much time. So these three methods are periodic, then there's three methods of perpetual. I want you to practice those, plus you got those other problems. It's on chapter 6. Okay, plus you need to be doing Cengage. Okay. All right, but do what you can do, and that are here today, you have a step up on many who haven't been here for many days. So I don't know who pays whose tuition. I guess I was dumb when I was a freshman, sophomore. I didn't think you could drop courses. I was making a D in history, which I didn't like history. I didn't think you could drop it. I studied out and got a D. So, but up here, people drop them after a week. Drop. Okay. Okay, you got to be determined. Accounting is not a pushover course. It's not a fly by night, not a crib course, whatever you call them. It's not a course you take to pull up your average, and so forth. It's a requirement in many programs, and it's not an easy course. Now, I really think some of our better students at Bluefield State major in accounting. I think it takes a higher IQ to major in accounting. Okay. I think it takes a pretty good IQ for most of the engineering programs, except the one Ryan's in. They let anybody in it.
Yeah,
But
that's probably true.
I'm kidding, Ryan. But I don't know what you want to do, but don't take the easy way out. Take what you can get a job in and what will benefit you in the future. Okay. Now, most CEOs and CFOs, they all have accounting background. Okay. Most of your Fortune 500 presidents, CEOs and CFOs, they have accounting background. Okay. All right. So much for periodic and perpetual. Now, if you have your textbook, I'm not going to go to PowerPoint. I want you to turn back in your chapter. It does mention about safeguarding inventory in this chapter. And, we've talked about that. Employee pilfering and shoplifting. How do you control that? All right. Now, we went through the perpetual, we went through periodic, and now I want you to turn your book to page 360. Here's a method anybody can get. I used to say a bloomin' idiot. A bloomin' idiot could get this method, but I quit saying that because somebody did miss it. Okay? Okay, so for a budding, B-U-D-D-I-N-G, accountant, this method's easy. Okay, look at the bottom of page 360. Lower of cost or market, which is your seventh method. Look at the diagram at the bottom. Look at ECHO, the item. We have 400. What did those cost per unit? All right. Now to replace those at market, we could go out and buy them for how much? $9.50. So which one's the lowest, cost or market? Okay, so 3,800. That's why I say, can you not look at two numbers and tell me which one's the smallest? That's lower of cost or market. All right, look down at the bottom, Tango. Tango, we have 280 units. Cost 14. What's the market? All right, which one's the lowest? 14 cost. That's lower of cost or market. All right. All All right, we're gonna look at a couple other methods. If I can find them. Now, we're gonna look at inventory turnover first. Look at page 365. There's a little formula there called inventory turnover. You put cost of merchandise sold cost of merchandise sold over average, what, inventory? How you get average inventory? What two do you add together? Beginning inventory plus ending inventory gives you some kind of total divided by 2. That's an average, okay? Now, looking at a couple of their figures here on page 366, they've got an inventory turnover of 5.93 and 5.62. All right. Inventory turnover now is bigger better?
Yeah.
Bigger would be better, wouldn't it? Now, if we could turn our inventory over 30 times a year, if we divided 30 into 360, a rounded year, what would we get? We'd turn our inventory over every 12 days, wouldn't we? Now, how often do you think a grocery store turns over inventory? Bananas and bread and milk and all that stuff, they better turn over every 3 or 4 days, shouldn't they? They better turn inventory over a lot. How about a car dealership? They're lucky to turn it over 2, isn't they? And how about a clothing store like Bell? 2. Right now, they're probably ordering for spring and summer. And they're getting stocked up for fall and winter. So they'll turn everything over 2 times. And you know, at the end of the season, they have these big sales to get rid of them, okay? Okay, so inventory turnover. You want to turn inventory over as much as possible. Okay, that's just one little ratio on page 366. Now, what we do with an inventory turnover, like right here, how many times do we turn it over? 12. 12 times a year if we turn it over every 30 days. Now you got inventory. You over inventory, accounts payable. You sold it. You got accounts receivable. You want to turn it over as much as possible. So some businesses get in trouble. What has happened to Sears? What has happened to Sears in the last week? Bankrupt. Used to be one of the biggest retailers in the country, the biggest catalog sales. Later, they combined with Kmart, or Kmart bought Sears, or vice versa. And what's happening to both of them? Sears is going to close another 100 stores. I don't know if that's about all of them or what. They'll still have 600 left. Don't know how that'll go. But I guess Walmart and Amazon has hurt these stores. Just like something put Magic Mart out in our area. Magic Mart's been around as long as I can remember. Okay, Sears has not turned their inventory over quick enough. Neither is Kmart. Okay, let's look at page 368 and 369. Now we've had FIFO and LIFO and average, perpetual. we've had these same three periodic. So that's 3 plus 3. We looked at lower of cost or market. That's an easy one. That makes 7. Pacific invoice method makes 8. That one and lower of cost or market is easy. So now let's look at 2 others. This is one that somebody like Belk might use. It's called a retail method, and we start off with cost. Look at page 368. We start off with cost and retail, and we purchase it at cost and retail, merchandise available for sale, and you get a ratio of cost to retail. Your cost is 62%. So if you go out and count your inventory, you sold 70,000, and you take that from retail, and you have 30,000 left at retail. Now, if you go out and count all your stuff in bulk, maybe in one department, and you have 30,000. But if you know your markup is if your cost is 62%, then you know what the value of your inventory is estimated at cost, and that method is used. Now, markups. Not teaching markups, that's good for business math or a low-level finance course or whatever. But, Margot, what do you think clothing is marked up? No, what do you think clothing? Do you have a sweater draped over your shoulder? All right. Now, you paid something for it, of course. I'm just going to say, let's say Margot's got a $40 sweater on. Okay, what do you think the retailer paid for it? How much? Now, Ronnie said 20. If that be the case, their markup's double, right? And Margot's shaking her head no. What do you say, Margot?
I said they paid less.
What?
I said they paid less.
They could have.
When you buy in bulk, things are cheaper. They just make a lot of money.
They may have marked up 200%. But normally a retailer, a clothing store markups between 100 and 200. All right. But
Depends which region in Asia you manufacture that.
Kelly, do you have any jewelry on? All right. What do y'all think jewelry's marked up? Now, that $100 necklace that you might wear probably cost a jewelry store no more than 20. That'd be a 500% markup, sometimes 1,000. So jewelry is really marked up, and diamonds are not a good investment. Okay. Diamonds may be a girl's best friend, but they're a man's worst enemy. Okay. All right, but markups on different things. Furniture is marked up pretty high too. Furniture. How about groceries? What do you think? At a grocery store, what do you think the markup is?
Probably somewhere around 500.
No.
I always heard fast food places sell something like 3 times as much as it costs to make it. Full a third or something. I don't know.
Yeah, restaurants are marked up way high, but at the grocery store, not as much.
Grocery stores probably, they turn over stuff so fast. The more that turnover you have, okay, jewelry stores are lucky to have inventory turnover of 1 a year. They're marked up high. A car, automobile, they turn over twice a year. Now their markup is somewhere between 10 and 35 usually. But now some of those luxury automobiles are marked up 35%. All right, but furniture 200 or 300% furniture store, they're lucky if they turn theirs over once or twice a year. But a grocery store, some things they turn over 100 times a year. Or maybe more. They turn over pop and water and produce and bananas and a lot of veggies, all kinds of things, a lot. So their markup is little. Their markup is smaller. And I'm going to say not over 20% on most items. They don't double it or triple it like clothing store does. Okay. All right. So that's what the retail method and the gross profit method are about. So please study those on page 368 and 369. On page 369, the gross profit method, you take your beginning inventory plus your purchases, gives you merchandise available for sale. Well, you know how much you sold, but here your gross profit is 30%. Now, if you sell something for $100, that's 100%. And if your cost of merchandise sold is 70%, then your gross profit is 30%. So that's what they're saying here, their gross profit, 30%, not dollars. And that's why I was talking about markups. Now you can have a markup on sales price or a markup on on cost. And a store like Belk, they can sell something for 50% off. Okay, let's say they paid $10 for it and sold it for $30. Let's mark it up. All right, I mark it up 2 times, 300%. Okay, sell it for $30. All right, they can have 50% off and sell it for $15 and make a profit, right? All right. Other stores do the same. I'm just using Belk since most of you are familiar with it. Okay, read this chapter, folks. And well, you got a lot of work to do. I'm going to let you go 10 minutes early today.
Mass production enables you to abolish the sin.